Everyone's talking about AI for trades and businesses right now, but 90% of the businesses we look at aren't ready for it yet. But not because AI is complicated, because their foundation is broken. Today, we're going to show you exactly what ready looks like, and most importantly, how to know if you're there.
Crystal Gonzalez, owner of CGX Virtual Solutions, where we install remote office teams so business owners can work in the field instead of being stuck running their back office.
And I'm Yamille, founder of Systemic. And what I do is help home service businesses fix the operational leaks that cost them jobs using AI and tech-powered systems. So growth does not depend on the owner doing everything themselves.
And welcome to AI Tech Tuesdays. We are your hosts, and today we're going to be talking about these three important things, which will help you to be able to understand and know if your business is really AI ready. Let's get started.
Let's do it. Okay, so item number one of the top three things to look at to find out if your business is ready for AI. First one is the foundation. Just like building on top of a house, on top of the foundation for a house, that foundation must be strong in order to sustain what gets built on top of it. So when it comes to AI, the key thing to remember is that AI is a multiplier. It makes what's already working work faster. So it stands to reason that if the foundation is faulty or broken, AI just automates the chaos faster. What we often see with most businesses is that they want to skip to the tools before the foundation is solid. So here's the thing. You wouldn't hire 3 more employees if your intake process was broken. The same logic applies to AI. What the foundation actually entails for a home service business, as an example, would be fast response to leads, and we've talked about this before. Consistent follow-up. If somebody reaches out to you, you got to make sure that you respond to them and that they're not waiting very long to hear from you. Otherwise, you could potentially lose them to a competitor. Third, reputation, because a good reputation builds trust, and trust brings new business and more revenue to your business. So the thing that we see a lot of is businesses buying software or adding automation before those 3 things are in place. An example of that could be somebody that's using booking software and a separate CRM, 2 things not talking to each other. What could that cause? Well, if they're not set up properly, both systems could be firing off confirmations and reminders at the same time. And guess what happens when you get 2 or 3 emails from the same business within minutes of each other? That's going to annoy somebody, and they're going to go like, wait, what's going on? I mean, what's worse, no follow-up or way too much follow-up, right? And this is where
Mhm.
automation can make a broken process worse and not better.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking a little bit earlier. And this is a prime example what you're saying about that, the calendar system, because a lot of people will be working with Calendly, or they'll have a calendar system in their CRM, or even a calendar connected to their
Mhm.
email. And then they've got all these calendars set up, and the process isn't configured right and not set up. The tech stack isn't set up correctly on their systems. And so even not just the calendaring part of it, but even just like if you have an intake process that maybe is put together, but too many systems are talking and no one really knows when the process has been completed. This was an example of something that I actually recently went through, where I was sent an email and information asked to fill out an intake form. I completed the steps. It told me thank you. And the next thing you know, I'm still getting emails telling me I never did this process. So what happens? I'm emailing the business owner, their assistant's emailing back saying it's okay. The business owner's emailing back saying, oh, I've got a conflict on the other side. So yes, this is something that can make something automation even worse. So that's something really important we want to make sure we're not doing, right? Making sure our foundation is right.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, the thing to remember with automating anything is to have a clear view on what the process actually is. Document every step of the way. Who's
Hmm.
involved at each step? Anybody? What needs to happen? It has to be granular, very, very specific. And yes, it is going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort from actually not a little bit of effort, probably a little bit more than a little bit, but that's okay because once you set it up properly, it'll last a long time and you don't really have to come revisit it again unless you change the process. In which case, then you're going to have to start again. It's no different than just any process, anything we do from on a given day. You
Mhm.
know, if you go to the grocery store, you get in your car. Well, first of all, it goes back even further. You create the shopping list, then you go downstairs or out the front door, get in your car, start the car. What happens next? It's that specific how you
Mhm.
have to get in order to make sure that you don't forget anything. Has to be very, very granular. So the next thing to know whether or not you are ready for AI in your business is the tech stack. So as we kind of mentioned before, tools aren't usually the problem. What is a problem is the absence of a connected system. Most trade owners have 3 to 6 or who knows, possibly even more tools running independently. And that's not automation. That's actually manual work with extra steps, you know, and as more specific tools are created for specific types of businesses, I think that'll happen actually even more because you're going to be sold, hey, this is the CRM that's specific for roofers, or this is the this or the that, the specific for plumbers. And it's going to fool you into thinking that everything is perfect, but it always has to be set up. You know, it's really important to understand that a tool stack is great, but not if it doesn't talk to the other tools. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
then you're in trouble.
Yeah, and and the thing is too, a lot of business owners make the mistake of just buying another tool to add on to the current tools
Hmm.
they have without actually understanding what those tools do or what that software or those apps do. Oh my gosh, I see it all the time, Emil. I see this, I see this, I see
So
this.
do
And it's
I.
like so, like in the onboarding process, when I'm talking with them, I'm trying to go through everything that they have. And I'm finding out
Hmm.
right in the onboarding process that, oh my gosh, they have this app that does this already. They have this one that does this. They're, how much are you paying for all this stuff? They end up paying. They have a problem and somebody comes instead of them reaching out to whoever has a CRM or that software and letting them know that that problem exists. And it all runs down to the initial company probably not even doing a proper setup, right? Because if they knew
Hmm.
what your process was and they understand your business, they would have these things running for you and you would be in constant contact with them to make sure it was flowing when you first got it. But how many companies in these trades that are getting all these different softwares to do different things and then it's creating confusion, they're paying more than they should to actually do the same thing.
That's true. And I think one of the biggest issues that I see when I talk to business owners is that a lot of times they're chasing a lower price of something. So they want to sign up for a software, maybe it's a little bit cheaper than the one they had before. But really, is that helpful if you're going to have to spend all this time setting that new one up? Because if you don't do it properly, it's really probably not going to work any better than the last one you had. And you're really not
Mhm.
saving any money. You're actually spending time, which is worth money. So you're actually spending more where you think you're actually going to be spending less, and then your systems can break along the way because, a lot of times what happens is that, you think you got all the loose pieces and you've connected everything together, but you forgot about this other thing that, for this other software that you did 3 years ago. And it's doing its own thing. And it just becomes a hot mess and it's hard to
Mhm.
fix, because you have to go find all the pieces. When you build a puzzle and you have all the pieces and then you're like, oh my God, where's that one? I know it fell off the table, but I didn't get it right away. Did the dog eat it? What happened to it? Right.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I totally get it with this and man, boy do we see this happening like all the time and
Hmm.
just poor business owners. And I remember early on, in business and I can't say it doesn't still happen. I catch myself doing it, but now I'm more proactive when someone wants to sell me something. I'm very cautious because it may look really good, but how much time are we going to have to invest in
Mhm.
learning all of this, the learning curve, bringing it in, switching, the mass
Right.
process you go through? I mean, we went through in the beginning, one of the big mistakes we made was we started with Microsoft Office, but we really wanted to be in Google Workspace. So we had to migrate everything into Google
Mhm.
Workspace. And like all the configuring, all the time of the team, getting everything moved over was such a pain. And so even now when businesses reach out to me and they're like, I've got this software that, I think would be great for you. I first, before everything, like, how much time is this going to take? Do we have the ability? Do we have the capacity to learn this new tool? And then double
Mhm.
checking to make sure that something that we have doesn't actually have a feature like that we may be able to easily activate, or it may even exist that we've just been too busy. Even nowadays, I mean, man, with AI coming out, I think the last couple months, I've seen our agency as a whole just being super busy and inundated in busy work, just
Mhm.
trying to get all this stuff because AI is cool. But on the other hand, it needs to be rolled out properly because if not, it can just take you through,
Right.
the circles and circles of more stuff. Not to get off on my own tangent here, but I feel that
No,
that pain of owning an
it's
agency.
true. It is true.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
true. You know, anytime you pick up a new tool, there's going to be that time factor, and you have to go and collect all the things that you were doing with the other tool that you're transitioning from into this one. Make sure you catch everything and you don't leave anything behind, because that little thing could be the glue that you're just that you're missed and you're missing,
Yeah.
and that is what breaks your process.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So
the cost of waiting, right? The cost of waiting and then how that affects customer service, right? Why don't you tell them a little bit about
exactly.
that?
Exactly. So this isn't really about being early adopters of AI. It's about the competitive gap that's happening right now. So the businesses that build this first have a structural advantage. They have better speed to lead. They have better follow up. They in turn are going to get better reviews because you're going to be asking for them. And, if you're able to, install automation that helps you respond to them, that's even better, because now that actually starts to bump you up in the rankings where people see you more. And then, you're just increasing it. Basically, you're picking up speed. It's like that snowball coming down the mountain, right? It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Same thing. When you start to put all those things together, everything starts to work better. And then you have your key employees that are spending time actually working on revenue producing activities and not chasing unqualified leads or chasing invoices or answering phones constantly when half the time all those phone calls are spam or they're people trying to sell you stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things you can do. And really it's just a matter of making sure that you become a leader so that you're not left behind. But you have to be thoughtful about how you implement things as well.
Yep, that's right. So just touching a little point on the customer side of things too, if a business that's actually calling back faster and able to handle things are going to sound more professional to the client. They're going to be more
Mhm.
trustworthy. So, making sure you have your tech stack right, making sure you have things right on the back end is extremely crucial more and more. Just a few episodes back, we were
Mhm.
talking about how you go into Google and you do a search for a local business to do some sort of service for you. And everything is just moving so fast that it's
Mhm.
really crucial to get these things, get a right foundation in, not wait too long to do this because things are moving so fast. And you really want to really jump to it and get this stuff lined up so that you can really take advantage of the growth out there that you could
Mhm.
have by having the systems in place correctly.
Exactly. I had a recent experience with the system being set up correctly. I called car dealer that needed to take my car for service, and the voice bot answered the phone, and it was not good. It was just going around in circles with me. And I was like, oh man, forget about this. So I called the other dealership in town that I just usually rotate. The first one is my first choice. The second one is like, well, if they don't have an appointment, then I'll go to this one. So they answered, everything got done. And then recently I needed more service done on my car, and I called that my favorite dealer, the one that had the crappy bot. And their voice bot this time around was stellar. It was so good. It even upsold me. It booked everything. It knew what car I had. It knew everything. So it was properly connected, searching the right databases, asking the right questions. I didn't talk to a human at all. And I got my car went into service. They were expecting me. They knew I was coming. It was fantastic. And what does that
Mhm.
do? It leaves a service text to actually provide customer service because they're not sitting there answering calls, questions that are every day, repetitive all the time. But first time was really terrible. Second time was on the mark. It was really, really good. I was very impressed.
That's really nice. That's a common question business owners have when they go into when they hear about AI is like, well, is it going to sound human or because what they don't want is they don't want it frustrating their customers more. Sounds like the first
Sure,
time you got
sure.
the frustrated experience, but it sounds like they were proactive and they worked with whoever their tech team was to help them get that
Mhm.
AI really up to speed so that it could really, answer the questions and take care of the client and even upsell them. And that's what we're seeing a lot of that coming out more and
Mhm.
more, specifically something that we pay attention to because we do that, right, for businesses. So we're able to spot the clunky ones and be like, oh, this one's was really programmed really bad. Don't
Right.
do that. But well, I guess
Exactly, exactly.
if you're listening to this and you're recognizing in your business that anything of what we talked about in this episode is exactly what you're feeling, then we want to offer you a free revenue leak audit, which is designed to help you. It's designed for us to be able to find out where you could be missing leads, where you're maybe missing capturing some revenue that's slipping through the cracks. We want to be able to show you that. So we encourage you to go over to our website at aitechtuesdays.com. And I'd love to be able to help you out with a revenue leak audit to see just where we could help you. Yamil?
Fantastic. And if you want me to specifically look part of a piece of your system, what you have running, what's missing, and what you should be building first, I'm offering a free systems health check. And that is actually also located at the AI Tech Tuesdays resource website. There are two buttons, one for their leak audit and one for the health check. So feel free to pop in there and request that for yourself. What the health check does is I review what you have and record my observations. And we'll just look at your specific situation and see what's happening and how we can potentially help you if that's what you would like. So one of the other things that I wanted to quickly mention is as systems get more complex and there's going to be some systems that do a lot of things, but there's still going to be others that need to be plugged in. Nevertheless, they're getting more complex because they do more things. And that's why it's important that you don't try to go at it yourself. It takes too much time. It takes way too much effort and you're going to get frustrated. This is why we're here. So please help, we're here to help take advantage of the resource that we have made available for everybody that's watching the show.
Yep. And if you're confused about what to do first, don't worry. Just go down one path. We work together. We help each other. We want to make sure that we give our clients that come in the service that they need. We really want to pay attention to what your
Mm-hmm.
company needs or what you need. So don't worry about getting confused on which path to take. Just take one of them and we're going to work together to make sure that you're taken care of. Okay. Thank you so much for
Exactly.
joining us today. We look forward to you coming and joining our next episode. Episodes drop every Tuesday at 8 a.m. So if you like our episode and you like what we're sharing with you, please make sure to like, subscribe to our channel, and also share it with your friends, family, and people that could use, you know, some help on their end with AI and tech. We'd love to be able to help them out.
Exactly. And next week, we are coming back with part 2. Then that's the one is the build. So we're going to show you the actual systems, the automations, the team layer, the specific tools, and everything you might need to turn a reactive trade business into one that responds quickly, follows up consistently, and never drops a lead. Imagine. Well, how cool would that be? So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss the new episodes that are coming up. And we cannot wait to see you next time.
See you guys next week. Bye bye.
See you next week. Bye.